This program is for mature audiences only. That's a polite way of warning you that we're a bit f***ing rude. Enjoy the show!
The makers of this program would like to begin by acknowledging and thanking the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of this land we are upon. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging.
Hey Minnie, we're ready for you! Minnie?
I'm just finishing my Chris Hemsworth workout. Roll the bloody titles!
You know we're live, don't you? Hello and welcome, you sensational viewers, to Live from Stonewall, starring the fabulous Minnie Cooper! Woo! Ooh, love her. I'm Steve Milne and I'll be your host for the next hour of comedy, variety and non-stop entertainment. Now, we are live on Facebook tonight, so you can like and comment and share us with your friends. Get them watching too. Now, we're joined by some absolutely wonderful talent from Australia and around the world this evening. Take a look at this. We'll be joined by theatre icon Tony Sheldon. We'll be chatting live to Wentworth star Zoe Terakis. We'll be getting some much-needed penetration. Queer pop superstar Geordie joins us live from LA. We'll be chatting to reality star Hannah Ferrier. Radio host Lucy Holmes will be joining us live from Melbourne. TV legend Gretel Killeen will be Skyping in. We'll be chatting to cabaret icon Dolly Diamond. Journalist Shannon Malloy is here to talk about his brand new book, 14. Plus, I'll be revealing Queer Screen's top film of the week. Oh yes, it is an amazing lineup. Not only that, but we'll be celebrating our chosen charity and those people in the community going the extra mile for others during this very difficult time in Little Heroes. And if that wasn't enough, we also get to ogle the hottest barman in town. It's sexy barman Yvonne! Woo! Oh, I love how he cheers himself. Now, keeping the tunes going tonight is the Diva Award-winning DJ, Shani D! Yes! Oh! Good sound effect. Okay, our socially distanced production crew and guests will be kept safe and sanitised thanks to Pandemic, the mask cleaner. All good there, Pam? Yes. Look at that. You've missed a bit. Oh, no, she hasn't. She loves to keep us clean. Woo! Now, without further ado, here she is to open the show with a bang, just the way she likes it. It's Minnie's big opening!
Hello everybody and welcome. I'm going to get right to it tonight. Thank you, Shani D. Isn't he amazing, ladies and gentlemen? One of Stonewall's regulars. We love him. Ma chérie mademoiselle, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you tonight. Now we invite you to relax. Let us pull up a chair as Live from Stonewall proudly presents your entertainment. Be our guest, be our guest. Have a cocktail, I suggest. We're streaming live on the net, Shetty. Put your feet up, relaxed and rest. Every guest we have on, their talent is far beyond. Barman Yvonne, he's so delicious. Don't believe me? Ask those bitches. Hi there. I will sing, I will dance, I look all woman at half a glance, and our DJ is the very, very best. Stonewall's your favorite venue, time to entertain you. Be our guest, we our guest, be our guest. Pandemic, she's so gay, she cleans 24 hours a day. I'll prepare and serve with flair a drag queen cabaret. You're alone and you're scared, the entertainment's all prepared. No one's gloomy or complaining while the drag queen's entertaining. We tell jokes, we lip sync, you wonder where we put our sticks. And it's all in perfect taste that you can bet. Come on and lift out the rest, you will be so impressed. And if you're stressed, be our guest. It's fine wine we suggest. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Life is so unnerving for a drag queen who's not earning. She's not whole without a stack of glitter on. Ah, those good old days when we were youthful. Hey, girlfriend, suddenly those good old days are gone. Too long we've been hustling, needing so much more than busking, needing someone who really loved our miming skills. Most days we just lay around on Grindr. Flabby, fat and lazy, we got booked and oops-a-daisy. Let's face it, this girl needs a job. It's a guest, snakes alive, well, I'll be blessed. Wine's been poured and thank the Lord, I've had my knickers freshly pressed. With dessert, you want me? Yes, my dear, that's fine with me. What's the matter, doll, you nervous? Don't worry, I supply full service. I'll get warm, piping hot, heaven's sake in my G-spot. Keep it up, we want the company impressed. We've got a lot to do, is it one load or two? For you, our guest, be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Oh, command is your request. It's been weeks since we've had anybody here and we're obsessed with your champagne, drink with me. Yes, we only drink with these, while the candlelight's still glowing. Let us help you, we'll keep going. Show by show, one by one, till you shout, enough, I'm done. Then I'll sing you off to sleep so you can rest. Tonight just prop your feet up, now time to just drink up. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Please be our guest. Thank you. That felt as long as I think this show is going to be tonight. That's how long that felt. But ladies and gentlemen, the government have lifted restrictions. We are now allowed 2 people over at our houses. That means my co-host Steve can have a threesome, not necessarily an orgy. Please welcome Steve! Hello, Steve.
Thank you, darling. Oh, I never thought of that. Can have
What?
2 people over. That's a threesome.
Yes.
When can we have an orgy then? We don't know yet.
Have you only just learnt to count?
Yeah, I can only count.
Well, you're still dressed like an accountant, so I'm
Oi!
surprised you don't know how to
Can't
count.
win. What have you come as, a Fruit Loop?
No, I've come at. I feel like. Do you know when you go to someone that's from New Zealand's house and they have like a rug on the wall? That's what I feel like I'm wearing.
Well, you look fabulous, darling.
Thank you very
Fabulous,
much.
fabulous. Okay, now if you're watching now, we want you to text your mates and tell them to get online and continue to watch with us. We've got a great show tonight. Our first guest is a theatre legend and Helpman Award winner. He's done more than 2,000 performances as Bernadette in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert in Sydney, to London West End and Broadway. He's also a star as well, and we love him so much. We're excited to have him here tonight. It's Tony Sheldon.
Hooray!
Hello, Tony. Can I just say it is such an honour for you to be here with us tonight. You are one of the kindest.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank
I'm
you.
so thrilled to be asked.
And you are the kindest man in show business, I think.
Oh, darling. And how long has it been since we worked together? My goodness me.
It was 2003, Tony.
Oh, on Witches of Eastwick. My one and only Cameron Macintosh show. That was my first experience of people really throwing money around. Do you remember when we were in previews and Cameron Macintosh said, I don't think I like them taking their bows in their normal costumes. I want everybody in black and red. And they made a set of costumes at a cost of $250,000. And we walked on stage and we bowed and the curtain came down and they never saw the costumes.
That's why you got to love Cameron Macintosh, isn't it? And he's-
Exactly, but I asked if I could, they made me a tailored black linen suit and I asked if I could buy it and they said, oh, no, it'll probably be used in another production of the show. And I don't think the show ever went on again after us.
No, and I must admit, it was one of the favourite shows that I ever did in musical theatre, and you were just amazing in it.
Oh, darling, it was a very happy company. It was wonderful.
And more importantly, can you talk about playing Bernadette in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert?
Tell us about that.
And that is
Well, it
just what you brought to
totally
that role.
changed my life.
Yeah, I always believe you were the glue of that show, and that is why the show had its success, because you were the heart and soul of that production. It was just beautiful to watch. Can you tell us about how it all evolved and putting that show together?
It was very interesting because it started off as a 10-day workshop, and I really wasn't all that interested because I thought, yeah, I don't know whether this is right to be done on stage. And we started off with a totally different script. It was actually about Carlotta was a character, and it was about a whole bunch of other people that weren't in the film. And we worked on that for 3 days, and finally Simon Phillips threw the script in the air and said, "We're just going to do the film." And it was wonderful because I was invited in to have a very big hand in the structuring of the show and the writing of the scripts. And we didn't do it in costume in the workshop. I had a full beard at the time, and it was midsummer. I was in shorts and sneakers. But I suddenly realized that Bernadette was somehow lived inside me very much. I felt very comfortable in the part, and I had no fear about being judged of, people will, whatever people think. And I thought, I'm going to fight for this now. I really want to play this. Then I had to watch while they invited every international star to audition for the role. I mean, Michael Crawford was up for it. Ian McKellen was up for it.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
And Simon Phillips kept saying to me, just sit quietly. They'll probably come back to you. And they did. Wow. And then once they did, they stuck by me for all those years. And they got me to London, and they got me to Toronto, and they got me finally to Broadway. And it changed my life totally.
I know how much you love musicals and theatre. What was it like being nominated for a Tony Award for you? That must have been an out-of-body experience for you, because I know how much you love it.
The whole experience in New York was an out-of-body thing, because you do things like you're on the Today Show, in the morning. I'd been watching Bryant Gumbel and Jane Pauley for years, and suddenly there you are in Rockefeller Center at dawn singing, a song from a Broadway show. And then you do the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. And then, there's all the lead up to the Tony Awards. And I also got nominated for the Drama Desk and the Outer Critics Circle Award and the Drama League Award. There were 5 awards I was nominated for that season. And I cried a lot. I could not stop crying because I felt really unworthy. It was like, I don't deserve all this attention that I'm getting. So it was sort of good that it didn't happen to me when I was much younger. It was good that it happened to me when I was in my 50s. I had a whole career behind me. I didn't seriously believe I was going to win because people had won for Lacage the year before, and I think there'd been another drag role the year before that. I thought, they're not going to give it to 3 drag roles in a row. So it was sort of like I was in a very good headspace about it. I was very sensible about it all. So I was able to sit back and just take it all in like a tourist. It was wonderful.
And you're... Oh, sorry, go, Steve.
No, I was going to say, Tony, how are you doing with this lockdown carry-on? How are you getting through this pandemic?
This has been really good for me because I left Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on the 1st of December, and I made the decision to retire. And I thought...
No, that cannot happen, Tony. No.
What?
Wow.
Because I was supposed to go back to New York now and pack up my flat. I live in Audra McDonald's house.
Of course you do.
How fabulous.
I do. She built me a flat in her basement because her husband, she was courting her husband, and he was in Priscilla with me on Broadway. Wow. So I live in their house. And I'd made the decision I was going to go back to New York and pack up and come back here because America ain't what it was when I moved over there in 2010. And I feel it's a very broken country. And I thought, I don't want to go over there and continue my career. And then I thought, what do I want to do? I don't know. I just want to sit quietly here with my partner of 40 years, the beautiful Tony Taylor, and just regroup. And then suddenly the lockdown happened. Yeah. And so I'd sort of been in lockdown for a couple of months. I was just sitting here doing nothing, cooking, watching television, and suddenly the rest of the world joined me in my retirement. So I've sort of coped very well.
Have you said, because I know you're a wonderful writer, have you been writing very much in lockdown?
I've been working on Nancy Hayes' show because I wrote Nancy's show for her last year at the Hayes Theatre, Hayes at the Hayes, and she won a couple of awards, and we decided that if it goes on next year, it needs to be longer and not quite so local. So I've been doing some stuff for Nancy, which has been great, and I've been doing a couple of these Zoom readings of things with people overseas. But otherwise, I'm just chilling. I'm doing what everybody else is doing and just waiting to see what's going to be out there when we're allowed to go out again.
And what will you do when you can get out? What's the first thing you'll do when you can get out of the house and do something fun?
I don't know, because at the moment I'm too scared to leave the house.
Well, Tony,
really
thank you
don't
for
know.
joining us tonight. It has been such a pleasure and an honour to speak to you, and you really are the kindest man in show business.
It's
you
so wonderful to see you again after all this time.
I
And
know.
thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us. I just adore you so much. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you so much. What a legend. Woo!
Thanks, Alan.
Big round of applause.
He really is. You know what I love about Tony?
Yeah.
He knows everybody in the theatre when
He
you
does.
work there. He's such a kind
What a lovely man. And what
Beautiful.
he's done so well. Isn't it great?
And
Deserves
so talented
it.
as
He
well.
deserves it. It's great. Okay, if you love that, you're going to love next week's show because we are going to go full-on musical theatre. We've got Amanda Harrison, Michael Cormick, and Lucy Durack are just some of the amazing talent joining us next week. Now, Minnie, do you have any messages or special messages we've got this week?
As a matter of fact, I actually do.
Ooh.
We've got a few birthdays. Happy birthday to Anne-Marie. She's our show photographer.
Yes.
Hello, Anne-Marie.
Happy
we won't put you on
birthday.
the camera because we
Woo.
know you like to be behind it. Happy birthday to Tim Noblet, who's in London. We love you and miss you and can't wait to see you back here in Australia.
Oh.
Happy birthday to good old high five Kelly Crawford. Love you, Kelly. Hope you're doing well in the old Melbourne. We're going to have you on the show soon, I hope. And of course, Vonnie in Adelaide, a famous trans performer who lives in Adelaide. And I hope you're having a happy birthday, Vonnie. Love you all the way from Minnie Cooper and Stonewall. We adore you.
Happy birthday.
So I'm going to give you all a quick lesbian happy birthday. After three. 1, 2, 3. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
I love a lesbian birthday.
I know you do.
They're great fun.
That's
no
'cause
one invites me to them,
You're
though.
dressed slightly like a lesbian
I
tonight.
know. I'm a bit. Just give me a pool cue.
Just more makeup.
More makeup.
But I
Okay.
think it's time for you to go, Steve.
Oh, it is
because
time
I've
for me to
got-
go.
I've got a guest coming, so I need Pam to,
All right, I'll
Pam
bugger
to
off.
clean the seat.
Okay, Pam.
Pam, where are you? Start cleaning. Now, Pam, I often wonder what you get up to during the day because I know you're a sneaky little witch. So we're going to look at the CTV footage and see what you've been up to. Are we able to see that? Here we go. Oh, you sneaky little witch you are. You know what? I'm going to get you, and you make sure you clean my dressing room as well, all right? So have you finished? Oh. You know I like a good finger. Next up, my next guest I'm very excited about. They're a rising star in Australian television and are about to appear on this season of Wentworth. Please welcome Zoe. I'm going to get your last name right. Tarakis. Is that right? Come on, Zoe! Now, Zoe and I know... Oh, we can dance, Zoe. Get it up, Zoe. Now, we have a history together. I used to... talking to the microphone.
Sorry, babe.
Oh, you really are a real actor, aren't you? Live.
Project.
I actually taught Zoe, and
Yes.
you were in Anything Goes, the
I
musical.
was.
What did you actually... I can't remember what you actually did.
Yeah, I just hid in the back row because I can't dance and I can't sing. So I was just there. It was a courtesy role, I think.
But you learned how to tap dance, though, didn't you? Not really. That's how good I am. That's how good I am.
For your sake, we'll say I did.
So I just think it's amazing what you've achieved. You're only 20 and you've already been nominated for a Helpman Award. What was that for? Do you want to tell everyone what that was for?
That was for A View from the Bridge at Melbourne Theatre Company, which I did that show over 2 years at all these different theatre companies.
And I was just checking up on you. I believe you auditioned for that without your parents knowing. Is that true? You
It's
sneaky
true.
little
Yeah,
thing.
no. Well, because I was doing my HSC at the exact same time, and my parents wouldn't let me because they thought I'd fuck up my exams. Rightly so. So yeah, I did it without them knowing. I told them it was for something else that didn't clash.
And how did your exams go, can I ask?
Oh, not too bad, surprisingly. I think everyone was pleasantly surprised.
Even you, by the
Me,
sounds of it.
yes. It was a bit of a shock.
And you did a film, and do you know what I love? That you are taking on these queer roles.
Yeah.
And being such a young person taking on these roles, it's very brave, I believe.
Thank you.
And you are a big advocate for trans as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that? Because I'd love you to speak about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so important, and it's something that's been so underrepresented in the film and TV world and in the theatre world. And I think times are finally changing, and people are seeing that trans people should be telling trans stories. And I think we're seeing it globally. Even in this country, feeling the change, like on something like Wentworth playing a trans role in that. I just think it's always going to mean more to the community if they're seeing themselves represented by somebody who identifies that way.
And how do you identify?
I identify as non-binary, so my pronouns are they, them.
And can you explain to people at home how that is for you in day-to-day life? Because I can imagine that can be quite difficult at times.
Yeah, this is how I always put it, because I think for something like being gay, like there's a lot of fuckwits in the world who disagree with it, and that's what it is, but everybody knows what it is. Yeah. Whereas with being non-binary, even though it's ancient, you look at the Greeks, there's non-binary gods, like in Samoan culture, it's ancient, all that stuff, but I think a lot of people in the world just don't know what it is, and so constantly having to explain yourself can be exhausting, but also I know in doing so, for the next generation, they won't have to explain themselves, and it'll just be normal.
And this is why what I think you do is important, being a young person, because I think your career is going to go boom after Wentworth, because you're playing a trans man.
Yeah.
Reb Keane, which is goes back to
heritage.
The old... Because I used to watch Prisoner, so I know who Reb Keane is. And for you to put... I think this is just going to launch your career, and you're going to be a voice of the community, being a non-binary person, playing this role. How do you feel taking that on board?
I mean, it's huge. And
it's massive.
Yeah, and you kind of... When we were shooting, obviously we've had to stop because of COVID, but... feeling the kind of weight of a community that you feel so indebted to and want to represent accurately, I got a little bit overwhelmed, and so I kind of just had to hone in on myself and go, if I'm telling my story, it can't be wrong. No one can come at me.
And that is the right choice.
Because it's true to me,
That's 100% the right. Because you cannot please everyone.
No,
It's
never.
impossible. Like I even saw, the guy on Melrose Place that played the gay character on Melrose Place. He was saying, well, you're not like a gay person I know. Gay people are many different things. They're not just we're
There's
not just
one
one
trans
thing.
story.
Exactly
And we don't say to straight people you have to represent every straight person.
Yes,
so I think
true.
It's kind of going, well, fuck the system. This is who I am.
And is there anything you can say without giving too much away about your Wentworth time on Wentworth?
Oh, just that it's been the greatest joy of my life, and the humans that you work with on that show are just remarkable. And playing lovers with Kate Box, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
And are you accepted in the industry being non-binary? Is everyone very respectful of that? I can imagine they are.
It's slow, like it's a gradual thing. It's certainly not overnight. And you still encounter some funny, humans who don't back it, but it's definitely changing, and that's a really awesome thing to feel. And I think, Australia's a little bit behind the eight ball always, and so to feel the influence that places like America and the UK have had on the Australian industry in regards to trans stuff is really exciting.
The big thing that for me that made me understand non-binary was when they did the non-binary Barbie doll.
Did they do a non-binary Barbie doll?
Yeah, they've done a non-binary Barbie.
Did they really?
And that really made me understand it. Because sometimes it's understanding something.
Totally.
And that was because you can have your own doll. You can make it whatever you want it to be. And that, to me, was when I started to understand
and that's why representation is so important, because I think even with, Sam Smith, suddenly all these people who before didn't really pay it the time of day or just didn't know what it was, go, oh yeah, like Sam Smith. So when there's people like there who are brave enough to be themselves out in the world, you make it easier for the next person.
And what's great about what you're doing is that you're not pretending to be something else and then saying you're non-binary.
Yeah.
You were coming out straight from the get-go. And that's why I think what you're doing is so incredible.
Thank you.
And so brave.
Thank you, beautiful
I could talk to you for hours because I just adore you, but I'm going to have to let you go. Thank you for coming. I'd love to give you a big hug. Zoe is the most incredible person. Watch her Instagram. Oh, just quickly, your Rocky Horror thing. Didn't Patricia Quinn contact you?
Nell Campbell, little Nell Campbell.
Who's Nell Campbell?
She played Columbia.
Wow, that's amazing.
She sent me a message.
Check Zoe's Instagram. She does fun videos. She's got more coming. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Zoe Terakis. Look at that. Pam, clean the seat. You know, Zoe always makes a mess. You've really worked on that hip action. Oh. You really are a disco cleaning queen, aren't you? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Pandemic. And please welcome back Steve. Welcome back, Steve.
Thank you. Gosh, she's
Sorry, I went on a bit there with the old Zoe.
I could have watched for ages. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Now listen, we all need a little help and guidance in a time of national crisis. So let's move on to my favourite item. It's Just the Tip. Now, last week she was here live on the show and now she's insisted we give her a weekly slot so she can continue to help the tens of people who need her. Here with a very special Corona vlog, it's Jan Vanderstoel.
Hello Stonewall Live and all of the lesbians and homos watching. My name is Jan Vanderstoel and here's what happened this week in the Corona vlog with Vanderstoel. Now to local news in Voi Voi. Now, I don't know if they're doing this where you live, but in Voi Voi at my bottle shop, they're now doing temperature checks as you line up to go inside. And so I was there just wanting to go in to get a lovely bottle of Tia Maria. And I had just had a cup of tea when the boy came up to take my temperature. So I thought I better not give him a mouth because it will be too hot, you know. And also had my skivvy on, so I couldn't readily get into my armpit, but I had my comfy slacks on. So you know, I knew that of course the most accurate reading of a temperature does come from your anus. So I just, you know, I pulled my pants down and I bent over. Well, my God, I mean, honestly, you'd think he'd never seen the bottom before, honestly. So unprofessional from a trained, you know, a medical professional, taking temperatures, although actually now I come to think of it, I'm not sure he was actually a medical professional because he had a lot of pimples. Anyway, long story short, he went to get his boss, and they took my photo and then escorted me out without my Tia Maria. And now I can't, I'm banned from there. I'm up on the wall of shame up there with all the people that can't come in, like the ice addicts with no teeth, and then you see a photo of me with my bottom out. Anyway, good luck to them. You know, good luck to them recognising me from that photo, because I hardly ever go shopping in the nude.
Videos too.
I love her videos.
She's extremely helpful.
Very helpful, very much indeed. Wait, what a woman. We have another superstar at home who was forced to do a live show whilst trapped in isolation. It is indeed penetration in isolation.
Hi, Penny.
Good evening, Minnie. I feel like I've not seen you for goddamn years.
You haven't? Is your place burning down?
No, I've got a smoke machine, darling. I provide production in my home.
Oh, wish we could.
Congratulations on all your success with Penny in isolation. You've done an incredible job.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? It has been so much fun. It's saved my sanity, but it's given me so much more confidence as a performer, which I lost over so many years.
Oh, that's amazing, actually. Can I just tell everyone at home how we first met?
Yes.
Penny, I was performing at the Arc, and Penny's banging on the stage. I'm a bloody dancer, I'm a fucking dancer. And I go like this, I stick my finger up at her. Then years later, we didn't speak or see each other, and we got to work together when we were going to LA. And then Penny goes to me, "You're a real cunt to me when we met." I said, "You were banging on the stage, I'm a dancer. And you go, "Oh, okay, you weren't a cunt then." And we've been friends.
Well, I mean, we must also discuss that your career began when I went overseas and you became the filling girl. So when I came back...
Exactly right.
What about those nails, darling?
I know, I've lost one tonight.
When I came back, you were professional.
No one ever wore nails back then. Too many...
No, I'm so Melbourne. I've transitioned to Melbourne. You can't do a goddamn thing in them, though.
And you're also doing bingo online, so everyone can do bingos with balls. No, what is it?
Gender bender bingo.
Gender bender bingo, sorry.
We did the first one Thursday night. It was probably the most stressful night of my life.
I tuned in and it was cracking me up when poor Coco couldn't get her voice in sync.
Well, Coco's not amazing at keeping track of what's going on, and I was jumping behind camera, but I'm actually bringing on a production team this week. So my little sister is coming over. She's an out-of-work beautician. She's going to run that side. Varushka's coming on as a host. Coco's coming on as an entertainer, so it's just going to be more relaxing. We had a fantastic group of people, but jeez Louise, it was tense. And the messages, Minnie.
What messages did you get?
Well, I didn't realise I had my phone number on the page, so I had got about 6 calls from people asking for support, and then obviously, as we all know, there's technical glitches. So people go, I said bingo first. I'm like, well, sorry, let me just get Grindr off the screen. And I was like, well, on my screen it wasn't you first, but I woke up so boozy, drunk, Friday morning. I'm like, you're going to watch it. You're going to watch the whole thing. And it actually was not as bad as I thought, but geez, I think it went for 2.5 hours. This week, 1.5 hours, that's it.
And you've had many great guests on. You've had the Danny Minogue, you've had the Courtney Act.
Yeah, so I do a lunchtime lockdown show. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's at 1 o'clock. Monday, Wednesday, I do it on my own. Friday, I do it with Dan Murphy, who was on your show a couple of weeks back. And yes, Danny Minogue, Courtney Act, Jessica Rowe, Brandy Glanville, who I think dished too much because she's not allowed to do interviews anymore.
I haven't.
Oh, she's frozen.
Have you frozen, Penny?
Let it go.
No, no, that's just a Botox. No, that's just a Botox.
I'm not doing ice tonight. I'm not frozen. I'm good.
I love the fact it's like a disco in your room. I'm really jealous. You got a smoke machine. We haven't got a smoke machine.
Girl,
We need a smoke machine.
crazy. I've got to do something to entertain myself. I was doing 5 shows a week in the beginning.
I love that. That's brilliant.
Are you still doing a show every day except Sunday?
No, I had to. Do you know what? The truth is, I took the whole thing very, very personally. And it was lovely from the messages I got from people. But I didn't give enough time to myself, which is so important during this lockdown. So I was doing shows. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do the lunchtime lockdown. Thursday, I do Gender Bender Bingo, and tonight we'll go straight to Trajan in isolation, shift it back Saturdays. It was too much before.
I'm waiting for you to be that queen falling asleep and everyone messaging because you've passed out.
That happens straight after the show. Like for the last 4 weeks, I've woken up on the lounge in makeup with an Uber Eats delivery cold at the front door.
Oh.
Heaven.
So bad. So bad.
Mate, well, I hope you've done such an incredible job, and it's amazing what you've done. And I'm glad that you've kept entertainment alive for the gays.
And can we borrow your smoke machine just for 1 week?
I'll send it in. Look, I think that it's great to see how we've evolved, and certainly thank God for the gays. We'd be bored to death if not.
Oh.
And congratulations to you guys as well, keeping Stonewall alive while we can't be in this. So, you know, we're all out doing what we can. But my love to you, and I look forward to seeing all of us in real life very soon.
Can't wait to suck you off.
Yeah.
Joking.
Minnie, we've shared hotel rooms before, darling.
I know,
I'll have to ask for separate ones.
Oh, that's a whole different show. Okay, thank you very much. Very nice. Good night. Woo!
Night, Pen. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
It's nice to have a mirror on your face.
I'm so jealous of that smoke machine.
Brilliant.
Aren't you?
It's
We'll
like a
just sort that
vagina. It's on fire.
I know.
My pussy is burning. My
I thought she was frozen.
My pussy is burning. Do you know that song? My pussy is burning. My pussy is burning.
No.
Oh. You don't get out
We
much,
have
do
so
you?
much more on the show tonight, so if you've just joined us, here is what's coming up next. We'll be chatting to reality star Hannah Ferrier. Radio host Lucy Holmes will be joining us live from Melbourne. TV legend Gretel Killeen will be Skyping in. Oh, that's me. Hello. Our show runs on donations, so if you are in a position to help at all, chuck a few dollars our way via our GoFundMe page. Details are available on our website, stonewall.live. Now, we are live tonight on Facebook. That's okay. So you can like, you can comment, and you can share us around like your private information on a government app. Oh,
Have you got the app yet, Steve?
Sorry, which app?
You know, the
Orange Facebook.
No, the COVID-19 app. The government are asking us, you should get it.
Okay.
Because we've got to get out. We've got to get jobs.
Yeah. No, I will.
Make sure you get it.
I'm going
to be checking your phone later.
All right. You can't check my phone. Can I check your phone?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll just get lots of dick pics, though.
Oh, Jesus. We've all got that. Right, now we love supporting queer music artists, and there are some hot new music videos out this week. First up is the amazing queer artist Lupa J, otherwise known as producer and songwriter Imogen Jones. On this new track, Limbo, she's singing about being stuck in a relationship in limbo. It's a trippy and haunting performance, video styled in noir and cyberpunk aesthetics, and feature fellow Aussies, the No Frills Twins. The video was produced and directed by amazing queer creative James Chappell, and Lupa was in great hands. James won an ARIA last year for Best Music Video for Guy Sebastian's mega hit Choir. He's also directed videos for the likes of Samantha Jade. Seems like there is nothing he can't do. Take a look at this. And another massive video out this week for a new single by Geordie, Things I Never Said. Take a look at this one.
Don't slip away. The things that I never said to your face, even though I want to run away, too afraid to tell you that I love you. Don't wanna regret the things that I enjoy. Maybe I should have made the first move. Thinking about all the times I should have told you the truth. Don't wanna regret the things that
He's here now to talk to us, and he's live from LA. He's one of music's biggest rising stars. It's the brilliant Geordie.
Hi.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Geordie. What time is it there?
It is 3:43 a.m. and I am thriving.
Good morning.
Have you been to bed?
Honestly, no. I've been like pacing my apartment and eating, so that's where I'm at. But thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
We love to have you on. Basically, you know what? Your new video. Tell us all about your new video that's out this week.
New video. So I released a song called Things I Never Said.
Yep.
And the video is honestly a really simple visual. We ended up making the video after we were put on quarantine. And I'm lucky that one of my best friends who I live with is a photographer and cinematographer. He has a great camera. So we were like, let's social distance, let's go outside and just like film me having a blast dancing in the street. And so that's what we did, and it turned out really nice. I'm very excited that it's out.
It's a really cool video because it's basically about people that have feelings for other people but don't want to mess up a friendship, right? Is that what the video is about?
What totally. I mean, like the song was based off of, certain relationships I've had where, I've had feelings for the other person and I was too afraid to say something or make the first move or whatever it was. So that's definitely a huge part of it for sure.
I like that you have on your YouTube channel where you sit down and you talk about your songs and how they come about and what they mean to you. I think that's great that you do that as an artist.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think that obviously, I think it's really important to connect with people, especially during a time like right now, over the internet. And so if I can make content on YouTube and explain, where the songs are coming from and where the lyrics are coming from, I really like doing that and being able to connect with my fans in that way. And
you know what I like? A gay person writing song for gay people, because we don't have a lot of writers like that. And I think what you do is really special. I think it's amazing that you do. Well, and you're very openly gay, like you don't apologize for it. Where did you grow up, actually?
Yeah, no, I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, and I was really lucky. I actually, my parents found out I was gay when I was super young, like 14 or 15 years old, and I was really lucky that they were, immediately so accepting and, loving and supportive. And so, I feel like I have this duty as an artist now to, use that kind of privilege in a lot of ways to speak for those who don't feel that they have the strength to do that yet. I think that I'm really lucky, and, the majority of LGBT youth aren't as lucky. And so I think it's really important for me to, not hide anything and make sure that people see that I'm really proud of who I am, hopefully to inspire other people to be proud of themselves too. So
did your parents know you were gay because you were in Glee Club?
Oh, of course, honey, of course.
Did you do tap?
We did all of the show choir. I I did not do tap, but I did. I was like such a theater kid. I did all the show choir, did a cappella, all of that good stuff.
Oh, was that like Pitch Perfect?
Exactly the same.
But the gay
Exactly
version.
the same. Exactly. I'm surprised there hasn't been a movie that has been made yet that is that.
Well, I think you're the person
But,
for
um,
it.
Too. Listen, Geordie, tell us about Billboard Pride because that's an amazing achievement.
Say that one more time. Billboard Pride.
Tell us about Billboard Pride because
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. I mean, so when I released one of my first songs, fall of 2018, we cold emailed Billboard Pride the link to the music video before it was released, and they ended up getting back to me, and they were like, "We love this video. We'd love to premiere it. We'd love to help you out." And ever since then, they've been super, super supportive of the project, and I think that the whole sector of Billboard that is Pride is such a cool thing that's been launched over the past couple of years that's just giving, so many LGBTQ artists so much visibility from all over the world. I think it's such an amazing outlet, so I feel very, very lucky to have their support.
Yeah, because I'm gathering it would be much harder for a gay artist to get their music out there than if they said they were straight and then came out. I'm assuming it would be more difficult to get your music distributed. Would I be right in saying that?
I think that there are definitely struggles. I think there are definitely hurdles that all of us need to try and hop over. And I think that I'm very, very fortunate to have a team of people who really love and believe in me. And, I feel lucky that I'm in a place where I feel comfortable being open with who I am. And I knew from the beginning I wasn't going to hide a thing. And whoever, wanted me to hide something, they weren't somebody I wanted to work with. So I just kind of eliminated those people out and kind of just stuck with the people who really showed me the love.
Yeah, because I like that you wrote a song about a relationship. And of course it was going to be a boy in the video because you're gay. And I just love that you stood by that. It's a wonderful thing.
Great role model. Great role model.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about lockdown. How have you been getting through this lockdown carry-on? What are you going mad like everyone else? What are you doing?
Oh my God, yes, I am going mad. I mean, I've been cooking, I've been baking, I've been eating
Drinking.
a lot.
You really are gay,
honestly,
aren't you?
very, quite.
What I'm loving about this program is that Australians are getting to know about you because I think the gays in Australia are going to love you and they're going to want to have lots of sex with you.
Hello,
are you single?
Boys. Am I single? Yes, I am single. I am single, indeed. So,
that's because you write all those breakup songs. That's why you're single.
Loads of cheers here, even from the lesbians. Wow.
Exactly. I've been doing okay. I've been writing. I've been, trying to take some time just to breathe and hang out and talk to people who I haven't spoken to in a while. But definitely working on new music. So we're very excited about that.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. It's so good to have you on. Thanks for staying up so late or early or whatever it is.
Oh my gosh.
It's great to speak to you.
Of course. Thank you guys
I
for
really
having
love
me.
your music. You're almost like a gay Katy Perry.
Oh my God, I love that. That's my favorite thing
that's
ever.
the vibe I get. I was saying, he's like a gay Katy Perry. Yeah. All he needs is like a California boy behind him.
Who doesn't?
Or up him.
The biggest compliment.
Or in him.
The biggest compliment.
Yeah, lucky him. Right, thank you, Geordie. Cheers.
Go get some sleep, Geordie.
Go get
Lovely to
some
meet
sleep.
you, you cutie patootie.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, what
Bye.
a cutie. Okay, I think we should check in on the DJ, Shaney D. How you doing, Shaney?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, we're great.
Do I need this?
Yeah, you do.
You need a
Stick it in
microphone.
your mouth.
Oh, wait.
How are you, Shaney? You're one of Stonewall's regular DJs, and it's nice to have a familiar face. How you going?
It's nice to see some familiar faces. I'm pretty good, thanks. And it's sorry, mental block. I'm pretty
That's
good.
all right. I have them all the
I'm
time.
having
Isn't
coffee.
it funny being here and like there's no one here and you're not drunk?
Yeah, it's
Isn't
weird.
it great fun though? Yeah.
I'm normally carrying a big coffee mug, aren't I, Minnie?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And what have you been up to in the lockdown? Have you done anything exciting? Have you painted your house? Done the gardening?
Yeah, painted it with pussy. I've got a big grey pussy. Blue, actually. It's not grey. So I spent a lot of time with him and got lots of hugs. And I've also been doing a lot of cooking and baking and stuff I didn't know that I could do. So.
And you're a bit of
other
an
hidden
actor
talents.
as well, Shaney. Have you been doing some of your acting stuff as well?
Not until because all the productions have shut down.
Yeah.
Last week I had a self-tape.
What's self-tape? What's that?
Like where you do the audition, you film yourself doing
yourself,
it at
yeah.
home
Oh,
and then
how
send
was
it.
that?
Send it off.
I've done a few before, so it's
I'd
all right.
hate that.
It was weird at first, like when I first started doing those, but I'm kind of used to it. I just got my cat to do the other lines.
Nice.
Best way to go.
Yeah.
I've done a few self-tapes, but it's not for acting, I can tell you.
Oh, okay.
I got
Thank you
those
very
too.
much.
Yeah.
We'll leave that for another night.
There we go.
Ladies
Cheers.
and gentlemen, give it up for Shaney D.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Okay, let's move on now. She's the star of hit Bravo reality TV series Below Deck as the chief stewardess with a brand new season about to come out. Take a look at this.
I'm on the verge of firing you. Go away.
Oops. When did you get here, Sandy?
You call me Captain.
Okay.
Captain Sandy.
Captain
We're not
Sandy?
friends.
Whether you like your holidays action-packed or pure indulgence, there's something on board for everyone. Eat. My God. Drink. Or drinky poo. Swim.
Incoming! Whoa! I am gonna get sick.
So come book a charter with us. You will love... It'll be nothing but smooth sailing.
Absolutely love it. She's here to tell us all about it. It's Hannah Ferrier.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
Woo. Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Carrabba Point in Sydney, just across the bridge.
Oh, so you're not overseas. I thought you'd be somewhere fancy.
No, I got stuck here in lockdown, so no Los Angeles for me.
Well, look, do you know what? It looks so much fun on that boat. Tell us all about it. I mean, it must be crazy.
you must be crazy if you think that's fun.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's fun to watch, but you're actually there.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely not fun to be there. But no, we've got season 5 coming out. We started off in Greece 5 years ago, so it's definitely come a long way. And this season is explosive to say the least. So it'll definitely be fun for you guys. It was, interesting for me.
Is Captain Sandy on this season? Because you're the only person that's done every one of them. That Captain Sandy, I am surprised you could hold your tongue. I was like, she is a piece of work.
She just.
I don't know. You remain so calm. You'd been up till 4 a.m. You're trying to do work, and she wants a bloody toast in 15 minutes. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, it gets a bit trying, and I must admit my mouth is quite often filled with blood, but I was always taught when I was younger to bite my tongue, so
Best way to get
that's
through it.
what I do.
Oh.
Do you know what? It's so funny because you look at those boats and think, oh, it's all luxurious and fabulous, but it's not, is it? It's a whole different world.
No. Those, and as well, it's funny because I actually did this for 6 years, but I was working for like the Russian mafia and arms dealers and stuff.
Oh my God.
These
wow.
Americans come on and think they're crazy, but they ain't got nothing on the Russians, I tell you.
I bet.
And how do you cope with some of the guests that you have on? Are they difficult sometimes with what they ask for?
Yes, 100%. And I think that so many, like these people as well, forget that we are on a boat. Like we only have so much storage. It's not a hotel. So, we give you a preference sheet to fill out for a reason. And then they don't put something on and they expect you to just snap your fingers and be able to get something in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. And you just, your backhand's like just there. You want to slap them, but you can't because they pay your wages. So.
Yeah.
And the boat is so incredible, but your quarters are like these sardine cans. Does much action happen down there?
No, you can't even sort yourself out in those cabins.
Oh, no. Fill out that self-preference form. You need to get it sorted.
Yeah, no, they're pretty bad. I actually, this year I went and I had to change bunks after the first night because my neck was, I'm getting a bit old for those bunks, to be honest. I need a full bed now.
Oh, I just can't believe up there they've got the beautiful marble, 2 bathrooms, and you're down there squashed like this. It's like, oh, it's so unfair.
Yeah, exactly. They're not as bad as some, though. I had one boat that I used to open the door and the actual yacht itself was in my cabin, so you'd have to climb over that to get to bed. There's worse.
It actually sounds like my apartment.
You must live in inner Sydney.
I do. And you actually left school quite young, didn't you?
I did, yes. It was not for me. I finished at the end of year 7, so I was about 13.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And how did you actually get the job that you actually got? Because it's a pretty amazing job you have.
Yeah, so I went into sales in Sydney and then I went on holidays in south of France and just fell in love with the south of France and came back and put into Google, what can I do speaking English in south of France? And yachting came up and I was like, okay, I'll go and do that. And everyone thought I was absolutely batshit crazy. Oh, sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
shit.
You can say whatever you
Say
want.
what you want.
Everyone thought I was batshit crazy, but I just, packed a suitcase. But that's what you do when you're young. I would never do that now. I'd be too nervous and scared. But, at 22, that's
Just
what
go
you
for
do.
it. Well, Hannah, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's so great to see you doing your thing. We can't wait to see more. Thank
And
you.
you're doing Australia proud. We love it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
So
Have
good
an
to
awesome
see you.
night.
Thank you very much. Right. I think it's the time of the night, Minnie, where we need to check in on the bar. What do you reckon?
Yes,
Let's
of course.
Check it out. Hey, Yvonne!
Make it a stiff one. How you going, Yvonne?
You're okay, Yvonne? He's good? He's naked again.
I'm checking my phone. You still haven't sent me your nudes yet.
Yeah. Oh, Minnie. Come on, Minnie. What about Pam? What's Pam doing? Oh, God. Jesus. Who the hell is Pam anyway?
I think Pam just dropped an earring.
Oh, yeah. No idea. You guys having fun at the bar? The bar's the best place to be, isn't it?
Well, not really, because you can't really actually get alcohol there.
True. It's all smoke and mirrors, although we've got no smoke machine.
Look at them. They're having a real sober time over there.
That's
so much fun.
Minnie!
Oh, can you please go to the bathroom, Steve? Please.
Oh, gosh. Right. There they are. Okay. Our next guest has been endorsed by Kylie Minogue herself. Big fan. As being the world's best Kylie impersonator. Love Kylie. She also entertains millions of listeners every day on Light FM. Take a look at this.
When did Johnny Cash record his album at Folsom Prison? When did Johnny Cash record his album, the iconic album, at Folsom Prison?
At what?
What year?
No, what's the name of the album?
At Folsom Prison.
Folsom?
Folsom.
Never heard of that.
Robert says 1979.
Yeah.
Lucy says 1984. In what year was Mark Zuckerberg born? The answer is 1984. I cheekily lied. It's a bill. I got it back on. I won. I got it back on. I got it back on. Lucy has nailed it.
Look, she's performed all over the world and she's here with us tonight. It's Lucy Holmes.
You got it bang on. You got it bang on.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Lucy. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Look how amazing you look. Are you in your bedroom there?
I am. I am all dressed up because I've not dressed up in like 2 months, so I was just waiting for tonight.
Oh, gee, it's always good putting on a little bit of glam. It's good for the soul, isn't it?
It totally is.
So listen, we saw your radio show there, and obviously as Kylie, I mean, you do everything as well. You've done so much stuff.
I like to be a jack of all trades and maybe a master of a couple of them, but I've done a bit of stage, a bit of theatre, a bit of radio, a bit of TV, a bit of emceeing, a bit of voiceover. I love it all. I think I get bored easily.
You were a judge on All Together now with Minnie.
I know. Sometimes we get mistaken for each other.
Totally. I mean, she was right behind me, and I just felt like she just upstaged me every single episode because she was so glamorous.
And I am a big Kylie fan. Yeah. And you impersonate Kylie, and you've been endorsed by Kylie, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was years ago now. She knew all about the show. Her parents had come and seen the show. Danny had seen the show. Her brother had seen the show. And I think it was about, because I've done the show for nearly 20 years. And
you don't look a day over 14, Lucy.
I know. Well, I started when I was 3. That's the only reason it's been going so long. But yeah, she sent a tweet out years ago saying, look, you're just the best Kylie act in the world. And since then, she's followed us on Twitter. She always sends messages of support. If we're doing a tour, she'll be like, go see the show. So she's been so gracious. It's so humbling.
Didn't her dad say that if Kylie was sick, you could just do the show and no one would ever know? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was backstage at a show once and he said, you know what? And he said, we should put you on the payroll. You've done so much promotion for her for 2 decades.
That'd be nice.
And have you been still able to go to work at Light FM in Melbourne?
We're actually broadcasting from home. So I've been at home for about 4 weeks now. I broadcast actually from this spot. I've got mics and I've got soundproofing, and I literally roll out of bed and just roll over here and broadcast. It's the best thing ever.
Amazing. Going back to Kylie for a second, have you got a favourite song or album that you love, or just is it everything that you enjoy?
Because I've done it for so long, I think some of the older tracks wear on me a little bit. Like, I could seriously not sing Locomotion again and I'd be okay with that. But I love her Golden album. I love her new album. So anything from Golden, that country stuff is just, it was such a nice change. I
Love
love
a
that
cowboy.
album.
Who doesn't love a cowboy?
Why don't you give us a little bit of Kylie right now? Would you sing a little bit for us, Lucy?
Yeah, what do you want to hear? I'm a jukebox. I'll sing
Well,
anything.
do something from Golden because you love it
Love
right now if
Golden.
you want to.
Yeah, okay. When I go out, I want to go out dancing down. When I go out, I want to go out dancing.
Woo!
Doing it for the gays! Doing it for the gays!
Yay, the gays are loving it. Oh, love Kylie, love Kylie. What else is coming up for you? What else is going to be coming up for you when you can actually leave the house?
Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine what that's like. I've gotten so used to just living in my little tiny unit. I absolutely love it. But, you know, I've been touring now for nearly 2 decades. So hopefully we can get back on the road. Hopefully restrictions, you know, lift a little bit. I think everyone is just going to be dying to go out and see live entertainment. So hopefully 100% Kylie will be back on the road before long. And I'm hopefully going to start maybe putting together a cabaret show over the next few months. And I'd love to do my own little cabaret show with songs about my life and everything I've gone through. So that's what I'm kind of working on in isolation at the moment.
Lucy, you should do that because it is so cathartic. I've done it, and it's such a wonderful thing to do, especially when you've got stories to tell, and I'm sure you've got stories to tell.
Yeah, I do. I think it'd be really wonderful. I think it's time. I think I'm old enough. I'm ready enough to show and share a lot of my life.
You look so fantastic. Thank you for coming on the show tonight. It's so good to have you on.
And thanks for giving the gays a bit of Kylie.
Yeah, thanks for giving the gays some Kylie.
You guys. Stay safe.
Okay, there is still so much more to come in tonight's show, including TV legend Gretel Killeen will be Skyping in. We'll be chatting to cabaret icon Dolly Diamond. Journalist Shannon Malloy is here to talk about his brand new book, 14. If you are in a position to help at all, please chuck a few dollars our way via our GoFundMe page. Details are available on our website, stonewall.live. Now, we are live on Facebook tonight, so you can like, you can comment, and you can share us around like a thirsty home workout pic. Have you seen all those pictures people keep posting of their workouts at home?
No.
No.
Only, I wouldn't do such a thing.
No. We really love hearing about those in the community who are doing so much to help and support others. We want to shine a light on people who are truly the little heroes amongst us.
Our little hero this week has been nominated by Glenn Hansen, and his name is Mike Galvin. So let me just give you a little bit of information. In the once bustling inner city streets of Darlinghurst, members of the surrounding homeless community would gather regularly to attend services at Road Edges, the community centre on the main drag of Victoria Street. Now they can't gain access or service in person anymore. There are food shortages within the homeless community, and it's really escalating. In the effort to address this, Darlinghurst local and founder of Facebook group Darlo Darlings, Mike Galvin launched the Darlo Pantry, an innovative way to collect and distribute food to the homeless and marginalised community members of the area. Like in the inner west counterpart, the Newtown Blessing Box, the Darlo Pantry operates on a simple concept: donate what you can and take if you need. This is not just one of the many things that Mike Galvin has done, and that's why you are Stonewall's Little Hero of the Week.
Well done.
You should really check out his Facebook page. The work Mike does throughout our community in Surrey Hills and the surrounding suburbs is just incredible. And we thank you, because without you, people wouldn't eat, obviously.
No. And you're helping so many people. And there are so many people at the moment that are doing their thing to help other people, and it's just fantastic. We absolutely love it. Now, there are actually so many incredible acts of kindness happening out there, and we want to salute those little heroes amongst us. The smallest acts of kindness have a huge impact. We want to shine a massive light on them. So please tell us if someone has helped you out. Email us your stories with little heroes in the subject line to takepart@stonewall.live. Okay, our next guest needs no introduction. It is the fabulous Gretel Killeen.
Hello, I am so bloody excited to have you. You're one of my favourite people in Australia.
Well, I love you too. I was waiting for the applause.
Oh,
Is there
Shani,
a delay?
applause.
Is there a delay? It took
I know,
like
Gretel. Try working it. There's no smoke machine. Johnny! Woo!
Thank you. Nice to be with you.
Oh, thank you for coming and joining us on our little show.
You look very lovely.
Oh, and you don't look
Thank
half
you.
bad yourself.
I've worn a very symbolic T-shirt. It's about 40 years old today, this shirt.
So, Gretel, tell us all about The Masked Singer, because obviously you're loving that.
What was it like being like? It was a pretty brave choice to go on that show. I love that you were under one of those costumes, I have to say.
It was, it feels like a lifetime ago. Anything that's further than 5 weeks ago feels like did it ever happen? And I love doing it. You know, it was, I'm not known as a singer, but I always wanted to be known as a singer. But as it turns out, I don't have enough talent.
One of my
You have to have more than just a desire.
One of my highlights from you in the last 6 months was you on Sunrise with Chris Smith saying our Prime Minister wasn't showing leadership. I thought the way you dealt with that was amazing. But what I'd like to know, what's your opinion now how our PM has dealt with COVID-19?
I think if there was one good thing that came out of the bushfires, it was the fact that our nation, we got a little kind of rehearsal is a horrible word, but we had an opportunity for him to step up as a leader for now, and I think that has probably really saved us. And I think our leadership, the National Cabinet, has been wonderful, the formation of that. But I actually think, in particular, as I look around other countries, the disquiet, for example, in America, where people actually seem to be challenging the government and wanting an alternate pathway and more freedoms, despite the fact that it's completely ludicrous under the circumstances. I think our leadership has been good, and I think our people are being really good. But I think we also have very vigilant people and very vigilant press here, keeping everybody on their toes. So I think that's great. And sorry, that answer was so boring.
No, it was actually, because I think what's hard for America, because they don't have good health care, and they're low wages, so I think that's why they have such discourse there, because at least we're getting some support from the government.
I think maintaining the health system that we have is really vital, that everybody has access to that, as is education. I think they are absolutely vital. Both are forms of empowerment and equality. And beyond that, this entire circumstance globally has made me think that we are all puppets in a greater scheme, and our primary thing is to be kind to each other and enjoy this life, because we have no control over it.
I love that. Be kind. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Going back to showbiz for a moment, I work on with Queer Screen, so obviously I do all their film festivals, and I did the Mardi Gras Film Festival. You and I were there together at the Judy premiere with Renee Zellweger. Wasn't that just a great night to have her on stage chatting?
I love Queer Screen, so well done you. And I also have to say hello to Connor, who was watching, just by the way. Now, that was such a joy that night.
Yes.
It was so interesting. This is why anybody who wants to be in the arts, and which is really the only one, media and arts, I know, I guess, but do everything. Do everything you can, because you never know what will lead to the next opportunity, or what will sharpen a particular tool in your tool shed. They're probably a rival outlet. But you never know. And in that particular circumstance, I was familiar with I'd interviewed people before and trodden on some toes inadvertently. And I'm aware that when someone is traveling around the world talking about a production, it can be really tedious for them, because they get asked the same questions again and again and again. I remember I was interviewing, he will not remember this, Arnold Schwarzenegger once, in one of those ones where you go into their hotel room and you get your 5 minutes or whatever. And I was challenging, intelligent interviewer, and he couldn't have given a rat's ass. I was finding some meaning in the movie he was promoting that simply wasn't there. But it did teach me that a lot of the people you're talking to are on the edge of boredom. So when I knew that I would be interviewing Renee, I thought, okay, let's check out what she's like. And I'm only telling this story so that anybody who's interested in this sort of thing will know that the spontaneity that occurs often on stage, you think about it. You know, you actually contemplate what are the movements, or for example, what will this lovely dress look like with the set? You know, we think about these things. There are accidents and there are also well-planted seeds. So with Renee, I'd seen her being interviewed, and I could see that she had a slight sense of humour. When I saw the pre-run of the movie, when there was just a handful of people watching it, I noticed that Judy Garland at the end of the movie forgets the lyrics, and the audience stands up and sings with her. And I knew that when we had our show with Queer Screen, there is no better audience in the world than an LGBTQI audience. There is just no better audience. They've given me love for my whole life. They've taught me how to love and to be so much more affectionate and effusive. So I knew, okay, well, if we decide to do a sing-along here, this audience, beyond any in Australia, is going to participate.
Well,
and that's exactly what they did.
They're all friends of Dorothy, every single one of them. So it was brilliant.
And speaking of checking up people when you're going to interview them, I looked up you today and 13 things you wouldn't know about Greta Colleen. And you directed a film about orphans in Zimbabwe with AIDS. I find that amazing that you did that.
In Zambia, actually.
Zambia, sorry.
Yep, I was a Goodwill Ambassador for UNICEF for for about 7 years. And yeah, I mean, AIDS was an extraordinary illness. Of course, many people live with it now, which is absolutely wonderful. But when that crisis first came, and I was living in Darlinghurst, my children were there. Just after that, I moved to Darlinghurst, and of course, with the hospice just there, and it was such a male gay environment then, and it was so devastating to see so many people suffering from it. But it continued, of course, once it had control here, which is similar to our situation, but required great foresight for people to get control of that. But in other countries, they didn't have it. So I took my children. I wanted to explore AIDS and the orphans of AIDS, and my children were about 12 and 15, and so they interviewed the other children. We travelled all around the place. It was a profound experience, and it makes it. I think if you're in the public eye, I think if you're in the public eye, you have a responsibility to know and experience as many things as you possibly can. So you're not sitting there from this ignorant platform. But I also think, just as a human being, we agonize, what's the meaning of life? And I really think, just live.
Especially now.
Laugh as much, cry as much, hurt as much, explore as much, do everything you can. And that was one of those things.
And, and you know what's the biggest tragedy of 2020? You not hosting Big Brother. That's all. That's enough said. Enough said.
Thank you, Gretel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I love the show.
I love you, Gretel. I love how humane you are and all the stuff you do. You're a really incredible human. I just adore you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Listen, now it's time to take a look at our top movie pick of the week, thanks to our friends at Queer Screen, helping you discover the best queer films you can watch right in the sanitized comfort of your home. Now, your parents may have embarrassed you during your childhood, but imagine finding out they secretly owned a gay porn store. In the acclaimed documentary Circus of Books, director Rachel Mason turns the camera on her parents, Karen and Barry, to tell their unlucky story and tale of running the most successful gay adult bookstore in West Hollywood. In the early 1980s, the couple desperately needed an income to support their young family and took over a local gay bookstore, renaming it Circus of Books. The store became a haven for the gay community to mingle and meet, as well as offering customers a wealth of erotica. In the mid-1980s, the straight-laced couple branched into film, becoming the largest distributors of gay video porn in the USA, and even faced prison time in the conservative Reagan era. The arrival of the internet sounded like the death knell for Circus of Books, and the business's bittersweet final days are depicted in this fascinating and personal film, which features stories and interviews with former patrons and employees, including drag superstar Alaska Thunderfuck, adult film legend Jeff Steiker, and publishing titan Larry Flint. Take a look at this.
I'm Karen. I'm Barry, and we own Circus of Books.
I thought it was just a bookstore with a circus theme.
If anyone asked us what our parents did,
these are called cock rings.
The official answer was, we own a bookstore.
They're not offended, they're not scandalized, it's their job.
Hand Jobs magazine. Now he does organic chicken farming, so when I order from him, we catch up on his chickens.
Now you can watch this right now on Netflix. It looks incredible. To discover more queer films, head to queerscreen.org.au to check out the latest film news, become a member and get information on their next film festival. Now our next guest is a cabaret icon and has just launched her own series online. Take a look at this.
I'm Kerry Stanley.
And I'm Dolly Diamond.
And welcome to Kerry and Dolly's house party.
Oh, at last.
Oh, we've arrived.
Oh, it's been talked about that much.
Hello, I'm Michael.
And I'm Lisa from News Breakfast.
Hey, Dolly and Kerry, all the best with your new show. Just a bit of advice for Kerry. Dolly's a bit of an attention whore. Just be very careful of her, okay?
I am in shock. I'm a bit of a what?
Okay, it is of course Melbourne's most dazzling star. It's the one and only Dolly Diamond.
Oh, good evening.
Oh, look. Is that your bedroom or living room, Dolly?
Well, it's a little bit of both at the moment. Yes, no, it's the living room.
I love the purple and love the gold. Look at that colour. It's fantastic. Listen,
We made a real effort.
And you were in Geelong last night. Is that right? Performing cabaret, I believe?
I was allowed out. It was unbelievable. I wanted to run. I mean, I don't run, but I wanted to run. And it was lovely to be out, and the gig went really well.
Yeah, look, I saw it online. It looked like it went really, really great.
So tell us all about your new show. Tell us all about it.
Well, we're on twice a week, on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, and we do an hour, and you would know that is not easy, is it?
No, it is not.
I mean, you know, I thought, oh, that'll be a giggle. Why not? You know, a little bit of fun, but it's an awful lot of work. But we are lucky to be working.
And how do you and Kerry know each other?
Well, we met years ago, and what an incredible woman that she really is. And we love working together. She's a milliner, a makeup artist, and a presenter. And I mean, what more do you want? That's a winning combination, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
You both have great chemistry together. It's lovely to watch. And I love the work that you're doing on the show.
Lovely guests on. And yes, it's really very similar to what you're doing, only better.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
I'm just being a bit... Mike, your wonderful producer, Mike.
Yes.
Suggested I say anything and be rude, but I'm not able to be rude. You don't need rude. I've loved watching this. I was almost...
You're not rude, you're just honest.
Or Lucy. I mean, what is going on with Lucy? That woman is absolutely gorgeous. And I thought, but then I just added a little bit of loose powder, and now I'm right.
Now listen, you've got good charity as well that you do. So you're ambassador for the guide dogs in Victoria, is that right?
Yes. I love, being able to lend your face and your name, and they wheel me out at the various events. And I love the guide dogs, obviously, and Movember. And it's the least we can do. But I don't grow a mo.
I really wish I could see. I love when you do your blankety blank show. I wish I could actually see it. It looks so much fun.
I'd love you to be on it.
Could I?
You'd be
I've forgotten how.
amazing.
Are you able to do that show online?
Well, you may be, but I mean, at the moment, it's difficult with what we're already doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And but I think when we all get released, once we've gotten over that and we've slept with everybody again, I think then we can look at maybe doing more gigs.
You're originally from the UK, aren't you?
Yes.
Because I've been living in the UK for such a long time. I've been back in Australia for a year. Do you miss it?
I do. I mean, I miss mates, really, but I love living in Melbourne and I love Australia. I won't be going over in July, which is really annoying, obviously. And but as we know, whenever we have a little whinge, we've got to back that up with there are a lot more people doing it a lot worse than what we are. And, I just think it's awful over there at the moment.
Yes.
And we send them our love. And I think what you're doing and what we're doing and others is what we need. We need our spirit lifted. And we're not reinventing the wheel because we're not smart enough. But we are making people laugh, and that's really good medicine.
Yeah, I agree with you totally.
What's coming up next for you? What's going to happen for you next? When you can get out and you can do things back to normal, what's coming up next?
Well, I would imagine I'll be getting awards for the show. You know, I would imagine that'll keep me busy. And you'll what a wonderful runner-up you'll be.
Yeah, thank you.
You know?
Love being a nominee. Love being a nominee.
Yes, it's not just being nominated. What a load of shit.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to win, don't they?
They do.
But I love it that we say that. Oh, just being nominated.
Just being nominated.
Is fabulous. No, I want to win. And but I mean, I'd love to I want to work with an audience. I want that laughter that you get.
There's something about it. Isn't there?
Last night and everything we do, you know, you make these gags. You're lucky you've got an audience. I
Of
get
two.
the crew. They're all stoned or brain dead, and I just want an audience.
Well, we look forward to when we can actually get people out again. That'll be great fun, wouldn't it, Minnie?
Oh, absolutely. And you're a bit of a cabaret queen because you do a lot of work with Chapel on Chapel, don't you?
Yes, I love it there. They've been very good to me. I began in Melbourne in that venue, and it's, you know what it's like more than anyone, Minnie. It's about spreading the word and what we do, and this is a great way to do that. You know, we've got to look for the silver lining. What you're doing now will go all over the world. It'll end up in the archives as well. Same with us. They'll be able to look back on this and, well, maybe laugh.
We hope so. Laugh at us,
You
laugh
know,
with us, but you know
that's
what?
what
At
it's
least
about,
laugh.
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing what you're doing as well. We appreciate it because you're right. We need to do this together, make people laugh, and just keep going. So congratulations to yourself as well.
Well, we're loving it, and I reckon we've got Lucy on ours on Tuesday night.
Oh, brilliant.
So we're really just coming up behind you, really.
Yeah.
I don't mind it when people come up behind.
That suits
I
me.
knew you wouldn't. I knew you wouldn't.
Oh, Minnie.
That was you, Steve.
Oh,
Don't blame
whatever.
me.
Dolly Diamond, everyone, thank you.
See you, Dolly. Thank you for joining us. And make sure everybody tunes into Kerry and Dolly every Tuesday and Thursday.
Wow, fantastic. Oh my gosh, absolutely love her. Now, each week we want to donate 10% of our production donations to a chosen charity, and we're delighted to announce this week we chose Rough Edges. Rough Edges, or Roughies as it is fondly known, has been running since 1996. It started as a church initiative to look after homeless people in the inner city and has evolved into a community service centre as well as a drop-in centre. In the community service, they offer counselling support, legal services, plus they started a new service to support women who have experienced domestic and family violence. They also run a social justice education program called Urban Exposure, which is led by current or former patrons of Roughies who have themselves experienced homelessness and provide them with casual employment. It's a very cool place. They also work closely with the local community and benefit from the support of the Darlow Darlings and the local businesses. For more information, please go to roughedges.org to see more of their incredible work that they do and to find out how you can support them as well. They are amazing. Right, Minnie, it's time for you to bugger off.
Yeah, I've got Chris Hemsworth videos to watch. See you later.
Oh, bet you have. All right then, Pam. Come on in, Pam. We need to get a clean up, love. Now that's going to need a good scrub because Minnie's been sitting there for a good 45 minutes. Thank you very much. Don't miss a bit. Give that a good spray. Thank you, Pam. Oh, she's singing now. Look. You're the masked cleaner, not the masked singer. Right. Okay, now. Our last guest is an award-winning journalist. His debut book, 14, has just been released and has been touted as having the potential to save queer kids' lives. Critics are calling it this generation's Holding the Man. It's a moving, coming-of-age memoir about a young man's search for identity and acceptance in the most unforgiving and hostile of places, high school. Now, he's here to tell us all about it, and we're delighted to welcome Mr. Shannon Molloy. Shannon, hello. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So,
Good to be out of the house.
Oh, isn't it good?
Yeah.
Just to get out. I look forward to Saturday nights. Okay, so tell us about this book.
So it's a year in my adolescence when I was 14, growing up in regional Queensland at the turn of the century, in a pretty awful place, being the footy mad all boys Catholic school that I went to, and dealing with other people finding out that I was gay before I did. And enduring some pretty awful abuse and bullying.
Why did you write it? What made you want to write this book?
About 4 years ago, at the sort of height of the safe schools debate, things were getting quite ugly, and I was on the train on the way home from work one day and read a news story about a member of parliament standing up and describing this anti-bullying program as a way for gay men to groom children. And it just sort of made me really angry and upset, and did for a long time. And I thought, if that's how I feel as an adult, imagine what 14-year-old me would have felt. And so I wrote an opinion piece sort of saying, I am why we need safe schools, and here's what happened to me. And it went a little bit viral, and heard from lots of lovely people, including men who'd gone through something similar, kids who are still going through similar things. But the thing that stayed with me was the mums of boys that didn't survive.
Right.
And I had about half a dozen of those messages. So I decided to tell my full story and hopefully give kids a little bit of hope that it does get better.
I, when I was reading through it, could relate quite a lot. Maybe at the age of 14, I was in a very rural place in Australia. And yeah, it's right how, kids can be bullies. They can be horrible, and even down to the McDonald's that wasn't being built yet. I had all of that going through as well in the first chapter I read. And, it's something that I could relate to. And reading it, I found myself just stopping and then just reminding myself what I went through. When you wrote this, did it evoke emotion for you? Did you have to go through those motions and those feelings again? I can imagine it was interesting.
And a lot of the anecdotes I'd never really spoken about. I sort of left my regional Queensland town and never went back, and never spoke about some of the things that happened to me. So it was an emotional process, but very cathartic as well. It was sort of like free therapy.
And what kind of reactions have you got? I can imagine there's
been lovely. Yeah, really, really lovely. Lots from gay men who see similarities with their own experiences. Lots from other people who just could see themselves in it. People who grew up in a shitty little town or hated high school or came from a broken home. But the thing again that just touches me so much is the parents of kids now who sort of maybe understand their kids a little bit better and have insight into how difficult things still are. And it's, the book is set 20 years ago, but, things aren't perfect.
It's relevant
we still
now.
have a long way to go.
I think, look, the younger gay kids have got a lot more now that is great. It is more accepting than maybe 20 years ago. But one thing that I thought about reading the book was that, if any young teenager that was maybe gay was reading that, it could help them realize they're not alone. But I kind of want every straight guy that was at that school to read it as well and realize what they put the little gay kid through.
Absolutely. You were talking before about acts of kindness. That's what saved me in this really harrowing year. And on the flip side of that, words have power and they can be really dangerous. So empathy in kids is vital, and hopefully, it gives hope to anyone struggling, but also maybe a sort of cause to pause for other kids that are maybe being a little bit awful.
Because obviously a lot of kids go through a lot of problems, and again, we've seen through your book, I've had my experiences, and then in the severe cases, there are cases of suicide, which is something that you can't ignore. It happens, and it's something that really needs to be identified and looked at. And I think that's something that people could maybe look at with this book, so whether it's the parents reading this or the kids reading this. I'm assuming that's something you'd like people to actually acknowledge and not ignore.
Absolutely. In my day job as a journalist, I write a lot about mental health, and so we know that things have gotten a lot better and we have marriage equality now, but the statistics don't lie, and gay and lesbian kids are 6 times more likely than their heterosexual counterparts to attempt suicide, and for trans kids it's double that number. So we still have a long way to go, and understanding difference and maybe not being so afraid of it is a great first step.
Who would you say should read this book?
Everybody.
Yes. It's in all good bookstores right now.
It is indeed. Buy a copy for yourself, for your mum, for anyone, I think. It's about growing up in a small town. There's a lot of 90s nostalgia in there, particularly trashy pop music. There's, it's about the love of a family. It's about great friendships.
You talked about great friendships in there. Obviously, that was real.
Yeah.
And are you still friends now? And
so Morgan, who was my best friend in this period, we still talk a lot.
That's amazing.
And have sort of reconnected in a really lovely way since the book has come out. So it's been great.
How are you dealing with this pandemic at the moment? Because it's not the same kind of thing, but it's similar. People are isolated. Mental health is a problem, gay, straight, or otherwise. How are you getting through it?
Well, I was meant to go off on a 4-week tour with the book, and that was cancelled, obviously. So I've gotten to know Zoom a lot. I had never used it before, so I'm doing a lot of video stuff. And through that, have sort of used it to stay in touch with mates. So we do Zooms every other day. With different friends, and we've had a Zoom birthday party, and so just trying to stay connected to people.
I think communication's key, isn't
absolutely.
it? And you don't really need to talk about much, just talk. Just be there and just support each other. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You for
it's
having
so
me.
great to have you here.
Thanks
the
so
book is
much.
fantastic, and what's that?
We'll give a few copies away.
Oh, they're fantastic.
So check out the socials.
Yes, and we'll do that.
And I'll sign it.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you, Shannon. It's almost the end of the show, and thank you so much for watching tonight. It really means the world to us. Thanks to Stonewall. Huge thanks to everyone who joined us tonight. Thanks to our sexy barman, Ivan, and Pandemic for keeping us clean. There they are. Oh, yes. Cleaning away there. Thanks to our in-house DJ, it's Shani D. Thank you so much. Now, we have more incredible guests coming on the show next week. You do not want to miss it. We're going to go full-on musical theatre with some of Australia's biggest stage stars, including this amazing lot. Have a look. The most wicked star of them all, Amanda Harrison, is here. Michael Cormick is joining us too. The wonderful Christopher Halsey and Lucy Durack will be inviting us into their living room. Award-winning cabaret star Michael Griffiths will be chatting to Kylie and Madonna. We'll be rocking out with Dave Eastgate. We'll be having a bing gay old time with Charisma Bell. And we'll be chatting to Australian music star Montaigne ahead of her Eurovision 2020 performance. Plus, our house DJ will be none other than Simon Rourke. Oh my gosh, it looks like it's going to be an amazing week. Oh yes, if you've enjoyed tonight's show, please share us around online, like celebrity support videos from their $1 million mansions. Thank you for Greta Jackson. We love you. That's for you. Okay, jokes aside, do look out for each other. Keep checking in on your friends and stay connected. Now, she's ready to finish us off the best way she knows how. It's Minnie's Happy Ending!
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I often get asked, what the hell are drag shows? And I have to say to them, it's when the club music stops and men dressed as women mime to other people's songs. And you know what they say to me? Well, that is the stupidest thing that I have ever heard. Standing up there in polyester hair, miming, it's absurd. Who on earth is going to sit there as a drag queen mimes to a song? What possible thoughts could the audience think other than this is horribly wrong? And you know what? Surprisingly, they don't think that. You know why? Because it's a great drag show, a great drag show. Nothing's as amazing as a great drag show with a lip sync and dance, all fancy pants, and happy endings happening by half a chance. Bad lights and stage fights and everyone mimes a chorus. If you want to be great, then you gotta create a great drag show. Some queens make you happy, some queens make you sad. Some queens quite big, some quite small. Some are just fibbers, some are just blah. And some drag queens, they do no dancing at all. That's right. They might call numbers off an iPhone in a straight bar in a very offensive fashion. Yes, really, they do no dancing, absolutely no dancing. And some may stand out the front of a bar for a really long time, snarling at Asian tourists and junkies, and you might notice. And it's supposed to be really hilarious. But most people sit there asking themselves, What is that drag queen even doing here? Sound miserable? No, I believe it's pronounced the Stonewall Hotel. And you know what? People don't actually like this shit. They love it! And what's not to love? Well, it's magical. What do you talk? What do you talk? Well, it's magical. With drags on stage, no, it's magical. It's magical. We got snappy repartee, and their talk spots are risque, and the go-go boys are gay for pay. A big, shiny, mighty, finey, glitter, glitzy, chorus liney, bob your head and shake your hiney. Magical. It's so magical. It's so magical. And for some unmistakable reason, the crowd goes mild every time when drag queens kick in unison in one big wonderful line. And then we got yourself a splashy style, a big fake smile, and spazzy pants and manly hands. I swear that I'll cross my heart and hope to die. Polly's going to be boozy, take it from me, they'll be flocking to see your starlet won't quit big hit great drag show. A big shit great drag show. Good night, Australia. Still waiting.